Hello and welcome to St Michael's Hill. You join me today with my self-administered lockdown haircut for the February edition of the monthly updates. There's been a fair bit going on this month, as always, but a lot of it's not been massively entertaining, let's say. Lots of testing track, lots of sorting out stock, things like that. So I will run you through a lot of that, but I will keep it fairly brief and then take you upstairs to the workbench where there's been a little bit of work going on some stock. So we'll try and keep things fairly brief, so it's not going to be a massively long update, but I thought I would just update everyone on what's been going on. In the garage this month, it's very much been a testing and tidying type of month. A little bit boring, especially in terms of an update, so I will keep this short. On the right hand side there, you can see the really useful boxes. They all contain stock, so that's how I'm going to be storing stock from now on. Keeps things very tidy and in a fairly neat and space-saving condition. All the boxes on the left and the two crates at the bottom there are full of empty boxes. There's also a box there that is full of empty boxes. So they'll all be going up to the loft. It's currently about to be reboarded with some extra storage up there, so I'll be able to store things up there and keep them out of the way. The boxes themselves have been fitted with a foam insert. It just keeps all the stock kind of nicely, stops any risk of things getting kind of broken around. They're not tight in any way, so I'm not worried about them causing any problems or losing any bits, but yeah, it fits in. There are various options in terms of the layout of the foam with inside. This one's a fairly simple kind of 8-slot version that will take anything up to the size of Mark II or a little bit bigger. Mark IIIs won't fit in here, but there are other versions that have taken those Mark IIIs and Class 6s and things like that. Part of the reason I was doing that is because I was trying to get the fiddle yard a bit more empty for testing. So as you can see, compared to other months, there's not actually too much in here. Various different types of units. I've kept out the 158 for testing, a couple of Locos, the 37 and the 56, and that's pretty much what I've been testing with. Oh, and also a Class 8 shunter. There are various kind of different types of wagons here, some that are a little bit older, some that won't run on the new things. So for example, this parcels van has the old small lemur wheels, and you can hear it on the sleepers there. So that will probably be off to pass as new at some point, or I might keep it around as a test piece for weathering or something. There are a few of these TA tankers as well that just have got old wheels and won't fit through point work and things like that. So that fleet will probably be being reduced. I will keep probably 5 of those or 6 of those to make a fuel delivery train, and I'll probably go to town and get some etch parts and really try and improve those. The Hornby basic shell is okay, but nothing more than that, so I'll try and get the detail in and try and get those looking nice. One big thing about emptying all the boxes was all the little parts. So all the parts that aren't fitted yet or aren't going to be fitted, I've bagged up and put a little thing of what each of them are. I'll be able to store those down here in the garage, and as and when I get into detailing all the Locos, I will be able to add them as we go. One thing I have got out, as it was all boxed up, is this nuclear flask train, I suppose. I might be looking to sell this just because it won't ever appear on the layout. Flask's never around in South Wales, so yeah, it probably won't. It just feels a bit of a waste to have this around, and someone else might enjoy it. There's a couple of scratch built RNA barrier wagons that have been kind of scratch built and painted with decals on them. There's an FNA nuclear flask wagon, and also the CAR brake van, which has got a tail light that has been fitted as well. So I might be looking to get rid of that over the next kind of month or so. So if anyone is interested, let me know, and yeah, I'll see if that's something I want to do. A few other bits of stock that you probably haven't seen much of or any of before. Some kind of old units. The Class 58 is actually the first Loco that I ever got. I think it was on my 4th or 5th Christmas. It's kind of where it all started with me. It's one that won't be going anywhere because of that. I probably won't even try and detail it or anything like that, so just keep it around in its original condition. But it's quite interesting that it's out. I think also at the same time I got this Mark 1 carriage. Again, it's kind of more sentimental reasons than anything else, but I might look to use this, kind of weather it up and maybe use it a little bit like the Mark 2 or Mark 1 that often was in Godfrey Road in Newport as a kind of parts carriage for the engineers department. So I might use that for that at some point. It's got sentimental value, but nothing like the Class 58. There's no new stock at the layout this month, but the Loco in front of you has actually been sound fitted. This is done by Richard at Roads and Rails, and I've been massively happy with the service. Very, very quickly, and it really does look and sound the business. It's had an EM1 speaker fitted in the fuel tanks and an additional speaker underneath the fan. It has a nice sound to it. I'm not going to run through kind of all the sounds and things like that. I always find that particularly boring, so I will just say that it's been done and it sounds good. I've got a few Locos and units on the workbench at the moment. I've been doing a lot of work on those during the month, so I'll quickly talk to you about what each of them's been doing, and then I will get on to another couple of projects that I've been doing up here. Starting off with the Class 150, I think last month I mentioned that I was going to try and change the destination boards, and I've actually done that now. So we've got Portsmouth Harbour and Cardiff Central, which is what the photograph of the prototype that I'm copying is showing, so I'm quite pleased to get those done. Not a difficult job. In the end, I picked up some custom destination boards from eBay. To be honest, if I'd had a printer, I could have just printed them myself, but I didn't, so I just got a couple of destination boards. They came in a pack, so I've got various others. As you can see, I'll just use the two of them. These are all for the Great Western region. I'll probably need these for other things like my Class 153. The Bachmann 158 again needs different destinations, but they'll probably need to be done in a slightly different way. But maybe in the next month I'll get the 153 done, and that'll be that. With these units, I fitted a driver. I'm not sure if I'm going to bother fitting passengers, to be honest. Like I said, there's already only passengers in one side, so if you kind of lit it up or put any more detail in, it kind of becomes a little bit more obvious that the other one hasn't got it, if that makes sense. So for this one, I might just leave it as it is, get it all back together and running. But generally, for most passenger stock where possible, I'm going to try and fit passengers and get all the interiors painted properly. Next up is the Class 37 that I was looking at last month. Not a lot's been done to this month, but the light below the head code, or painted over head code board, needs to be moved. So this end, you can see it's pretty much right underneath. I've managed to take that off, and I've filled the gap. It's all smooth now. Obviously, it's not painted or anything, but I'll place a new light over the top of that. I'm also just having a little play with fitting some wire handrails. This won't be the final thing. I need some proper nickel silver wire to do that, really. It's just kind of a brass fitting to see how it would look. I've also picked up some lamp iron hooks from Pete Harvey, which I've used. They're very nice, kind of little etch part. So they'll be fitted, as well as all the other detailing. So it's coming along. effectively, once that's done, I'll be kind of ready to start getting the paint on and see how that goes. Finally, it's the Class 60, the load haul version. This model is causing me a fair few problems. I thought it all looked good when I picked it up, but unfortunately it's got quite a few issues. So if I pick it up, you'll see that the power bogey just kind of hangs quite a lot. Not great. And then also the side of the bogey frame is very loose. And then even at this end, you see that you can basically pull the bodywork up. So I'm going to have a real look underneath, see what's going on here. I fear that, obviously, hoping the bodywork's just the screws are missing, but maybe the bogey on this end has had a clip broken or something. So I'm going to have a good old look and see what's going on under the hood. It all runs fine, and actually when the weight's on it, there's no problem. But yeah, it's just kind of causing issues that we don't really want. So I'll get that all fixed up, and once that's all running, this will be put into the pile for weathering at some point. Another job that I've been doing this month, which is pretty boring, but at the same time needed to be done, was sorting through the 3D printed bits that Valenta had sent over. So after, I think last month I showed you the trial pieces, I actually ordered 2 rakes worth, which have now come through. So I've been painting those, obviously getting the pipe work all painted and the connection boxes, as well as painting the whole thing black. When they come, they're I think you probably saw last month, but they're sort of a kind of purpley grey car. So just a case of getting them all sorted and ready for use. So these are all painted up now, and probably next month will be fitted to the Intercity power cars. Oh, sorry, Intercity Mark 3s. That's these here, and then these ones will be going on the Great Western Merlin ones that feature the NEM pocket adaptation for the old bogies. So that's what I'll be doing, as well as picking up the bits for the Mark 3s. For the power cars, there are a few bits of detailing. So if you're going to use the Lima power cars, you can use these bits to kind of replace some of the underframe, improve the detail on those. And there's also some additional pipe work and things like that that you can fit to the Lima versions to bring them up to standard a little bit more. I probably will be doing that for one of my Lima Great Western dummy cars, and we'll see what how they come out. I've also decided this month to crack on with some of my scale model scenery kits that I've had. I've got a big box of them that just need to be kind of done, and they're quite nice, easy things to do while sitting in front of the TV or watching a movie or something. So I've got a few skips that I've made up. I'm not sure if I'm going to end up using these on the layout or not, but I kind of thought I might as well get them made up and painted and try a few things out. The plan with these is to get some kind of Tamiya modelling putty, mix it down into kind of a paste, and then slap it on, which will do a couple of things. It'll fill the gaps. You might be able to see there's a few gaps here and there where the kit just isn't quite right. Either that's, I don't think it's me putting it together particularly wrong, it's just the way that works, the angle on the card. But it should also allow me to kind of create a bit of a textured pattern, a bit like kind of battered metal that you often get with these skips. The other kit is the gas bottle cages, so I've put these together. Quite happy with how these have gone together so far. The kit's pretty impressive. It's got a very fine mesh. It's quite incredible what you can do laser cutting these days. So these are obviously just been put together. They need to be primed and then painted, but they'll get to go together, and they'll be used somewhere on the depot for sure. It's quite an easy place to put them. So I'll get those done over the next kind of few weeks, and we'll go from there. Another thing that I've been doing this month is another tree, or another couple of trees actually. The first one is this big oak. It's based on a tree just around the corner from where I live. I'm quite pleased with how this has gone together so far. I'm really getting the shape of the original tree. It's quite nice to kind of try and copy some nature as far as possible. It's obviously gets more difficult the finer branches go on, but this one's quite interesting. It's quite tall, and there's actually not many fine branches. It could well be a dead tree. I'm not entirely sure. It's in the middle of a building site, so it's difficult to tell at this time of year whether it's dead or whether it's just kind of been shedding of its leaves for the winter. But the shape's quite nice, and it's very good. Second one, I'll put a picture in here, has actually gone off to Motts Lane to be part of the layout there. Will asked me if I would do one for him, and yeah, didn't see any reason why not. It was also an interesting experiment to see if it could get sent through the post, but as you can see, it seems to have arrived in good condition, and certainly looks the part on his layout. Really impressed with Will's layout. You should certainly check out his channel. He's building it in EM gauge, and I believe he's about to move to P4, so if you're into that sort of thing, certainly check us out. For a fantastic modeler, and very pleased to see something that I've done on his layout. So that's it pretty much for St Michael's Hill this month. I hope you've enjoyed the video. One other thing before I go quickly is that quite a few months ago now I set up an Instagram account for the layout. So if you are interested, I will leave the link in the description below. Go and check that out if you're at all interested in Instagram, and I would appreciate the follow. Join the 700 or so people who have followed, and we get into some conversations and all that sort of stuff, and you'll see projects as they're kind of going along, really, rather than just in a monthly update form. Next month, I'm going to try very hard to get all the track in here kind of fully tested, fully running, and then maybe start on some of the scenic structures and things like that. Try and get in some bold strokes into place, and see where we are from there. So thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you again next month on St Michael's Hill. Bye bye.